What's going on? So I got asked the Lakers of '09 versus the Toronto Raptors of 19. Who wins? Oh, this would be a really interesting battle. Kobe Paul Gasol, Metal Lamar against Kawhi, Pascal, Kyle Lowry. Woo. The Lakers seemed like they were on redemption after the way they got spanked by Boston and got humble pied in '08, and they were coming back. And it was like a mission to get back. With Paul Gasol, he was a great fit, and they were able to make a serious, make a run. And this, to me, was when I think about those finals, that was probably Kobe's best individual performance I can recall. He was really in tune, and they set on a mission to get at Dwight Howard, Turkoglu, and Jameer Nelson. There was a game too that was, I think, there was for the taking, but there was an inbounds pass. But I think Orlando was kind of like hoping to kind of catch the Lakers sleeping, but it was evenly matched that the Lakers were just a little bit, had a bit much going on for them. Because Andrew Bynum was there too, so I think that was going to be a big task for him at the stands. When I'm thinking about it, when I think about Toronto, that was the unlikeliest because the Spurs traded Kawhi Leonard to Toronto, and that was like being sent to Saudi Arabia. That was a joke. I had Popovich had to have been snarking. One thing about these trades in the NBA, cats back in the day before there was the internet and people could make your reaction. Everybody had that look like Chris Webber did when he got traded from Washington to Sacramento. Like, oh no. And that's how Kawhi Leonard had to feel. Like, I did all this for the Spurs and y'all gonna send me to El Segundo in Toronto. But what happened was it was a great fit. That drop against Philly, against Joel Embiid, when he's talking about the process, Philly never was the same after that. If you think about it, that was the closest they came. That game, that drop ball drop. I hadn't seen that happen until Tyrese Halliburton made that shot in that Eastern Conference Finals against the Knicks. So I was like, wow, that is reminiscent. Kawhi had all the stars and the moon and the four-leaf clovers on his side. So we get to who do I think? And Golden State was a more explosive team than Orlando was, but I still think if Kevin Durant plays, I think that's a different series because he showed out. I think it was a game four. He got hurt in one game, but he showed out. And of course, Clay got hurt in game six. I think they were on their way to making a 7 game series because Toronto had to hang on for dear life. Everything had to go their way. Denny Green had to be up under Clay when Clay fell, and that was a turning point. Steph tried to do it by himself, but they had an answer for Draymond. But it was Steph missed that three near the end, and that was the last of that 5 straight years of them going to the finals. But whoa, that was a series though. But if you're asking me, who do I think would have won out of the Lakers '09 and Toronto in 2019? I got to say the Lakers in seven, but I do think Kawhi would have been a handful. I think prime peak Kawhi, when he was motivated, was a handful. That's what got him on the top 75 greatest teams, that performance. Well, he went to Toronto and sealed the deal of one and done. And I still think if he'd have stayed in Toronto, they would have probably won another chip. I really do. I think Nick Nurse and them had a great setup, and he was the X factor before he went to the Clippers. But anyway, that Laker team had good size in the front. They had a good balance, and I think that their styling would have given Toronto. I think they would have been prepared for Fleet, and Pascal would have been a problem to with Gasol. That would have been the X factor. If you're going to talk about one, Pascal and Paul would have been a real intriguing one-on-one. How you do, because Kobe's unstoppable, but Kawhi was bringing it too. Would have been a compelling finals, to say the least. So, anyway, great question about if the Lakers, the chip of '09 versus Toronto Raptors of 2019, who I think would have won the chip? Great question. Appreciate that. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.